Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Moving Markets Podcast. I am your host, Jeffrey Dunyan. I think most of you know that because you're members of Safe Option Strategies. But for those few of you that jump on and listen to the program and may not be members of the program, once in a while, it's probably good if I introduce myself. We have the stock market has been open and trading now for just a little over 30 minutes. And so far, so good. Things are off to a positive start. Nice big turnaround from yesterday. Yesterday was, I don't know what, I know probably most, if not all of you that are listening are well aware of the drama that unfolded yesterday. I'm not going to be sharing anything with you that is somehow earth-shattering news or something that you were totally unaware of. But it's unfortunate and it's sad to me that Donald Trump and Elon Musk started getting into a war of words over these past few days, and especially yesterday. And I'm going to echo what some other people have said. This is not, I didn't come up with this, but I agree with it wholeheartedly. And so I will echo what some others have said. You've got the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, and the most powerful man in the world, Donald Trump. A lot of people consider the president of the United States the most powerful man in the world when he's in office. So you've got these two people that have these respective positions of power, and they're starting to get into this war of words. And look, no one can be surprised that both of these men have huge egos. I don't know how you become a multi-billionaire and not have some ego to go with it. I don't know how you can ascend to be the president of the United States and not have some major ego. We know both of these men are very opinionated. Nothing about this should be a major shock or a major surprise. It's just sad that things turned as quickly as they did. And I am very sincerely of the hope that they'll come together and bury the hatchet and kind of get back on the same page. And I think they can. I think both of them have the ability to sort of cool off a little bit and sort of get back on the same page. And the other sad part about it is both of them are right. This is what makes it so difficult. And they may not see that both of them can be right about what's going on. And, let me just explain really quickly and clarify. Elon Musk is right that this big, beautiful bill that we've talked about a lot of times on this program, we've mentioned it, we've brought it up. It's been a focus of conversation primarily because it's going to have a big impact on the economy and on the stock market. That's what we're about, is the stock market. I know I get political a lot, but ultimately we are all here because we want to make money in the stock market. That's the bottom line goal, full stop. But this bill is going to have an impact for good or for bad. If the bill goes through, the tax cuts are going to be solidified. They're going to be greatly extended, hopefully made permanent. That is good for the economy. There are some other things that are very, very pro-growth in this bill that are going to be good for the economy. Elon Musk is correct in that the bill also contains some major Washington, D.C. bureaucratic bloat. And it's unfortunate that it has all of the garbage, all of the pork, all of the bloat built into it. I wish that weren't the case. I'll bet you the average person that knows just a little bit about finances could go through this bill and find billions and billions and hundreds of billions of dollars that we could look at and say, this is not necessary. But when you look at it through the prism of a politician who has to go back to his or her constituents and say, I was able to preserve this program that we have in our little community here that is producing these jobs or making these people's lives better, and I need these people to vote for me. To a degree, you can understand how and why all that bloat gets put in there. I don't like that it gets in there. I wish politics didn't work this way. I wish all of these projects that different politicians try to get into these bills, I would like it if we could do without them completely. If we could find a way to move forward and not have this going on. But sadly, very sadly to me, this is the reality of the situation. Now, I think Elon Musk, if him and Trump can get back on the same page or close to it, at least back on the same sort of focus, I would love to see the continuation of Doge, and I would love to see Elon Musk's continued involvement at some level in trying to cut more and more and more of this government waste. It's going to be easier to cut out the fraud and the abuse than the pet projects that aren't necessarily fraudulent, maybe a little bit abusive. I think a lot of these pet projects that congressmen and congresswomen and senators try to get into these budgets and try and get into these money packages coming out of Congress. I think some of them you could debate whether they are abusive and take advantage of taxpayers, but they're not necessarily fraudulent. I think you got to start out with the fraudulent stuff, which I think Doge was off to a good start with, and then I think you've got to move on to the things that are abusive, and abusive is a very subjective thing in Washington D.C. So it's a tough situation. It's a tricky situation. I understand to a degree both sides of the argument. I understand why President Trump is upset and saying, look, it doesn't work the way you want it to work or think it's going to work. And I understand why Elon Musk is saying, why are you allowing this bill to go through with all this pork and all this massive spending that is going to take an already severe budget and deficit problem and potentially make it worse. So I get both sides. I wish one or both of these individuals could set their ego aside enough to say, all right, look, we share a similar vision for this country. We've got some differences on how we're going to go about it, and just both of them be okay with that. We'll see whether that happens. In spite of all of that, and that's the backdrop to why the market took such a turn and why the market sold off yesterday. But it's coming back even bigger than what it fell yesterday. If you take a look, I've got CoreWeave up here. I'll switch this in a second. If you take a look at the S&P, it's already up. It's back up to a higher spot than where it even started yesterday. So it's gotten back everything and then some. Dow Jones Industrial Average, you can see on this chart, it's gotten back every penny and then some. NASDAQ, every penny that it gave up yesterday, and maybe not quite. It's gotten back most of what it gave up yesterday. NASDAQ got a little ways to go, but still, everything looks good today. Now, the trading day is early. I mentioned this yesterday. We were early in the day, and we were talking about how things could potentially change, and they certainly did. We're early in the trading session. We're barely 40 minutes in, if that, and things still have the potential and still could go south very easily. So, it's not all sunshine. I mean, it's sunshine and roses right now. That doesn't necessarily mean that's the way it's going to finish today. We'll see what happens the rest of the day. I hope that it's a quiet news day for the rest of the day, because if it's a somewhat quiet news day for the rest of the day, I think things could continue to gain and get momentum, and we could see everything finish at or better than where it's at right now. And to me, that would be a very good thing. That would be an incredibly positive thing if that's where we ended up. So we'll see how that all plays out. A lot of time left to trade today, so anything could happen. I hope things just stay to the upside and we continue to have a very positive market moving forward. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and hope that's what happens. All right, let's talk about a couple of trades we have open. Specifically, Amazon's doing well, CrowdStrike is doing well, CoreWeave is doing well, Walmart. Let's talk about Walmart. Walmart is up only a fraction today, and it appears right now that our Walmart short calls and short puts are both going to finish out of the money. Walmart would have to get on a pretty nice roll to get back up to $99 a share. They're trading at 98 and just a little bit of change right now. This is what I'm going to recommend, and I'm going to send this out after I do this presentation. I'm going to recommend that we roll our 99 strike short call. You can do this as soon as you hear this. If you're listening live, or if you're listening to the recording and I haven't sent out anything yet, do this as soon as you hear it. I'm going to roll my 99 strike short call. I've got this on, I apologize, I've got this not only on a different screen, I've got it on a different computer, so I'll tell you what it's going to be. I'm going to roll it out. I'm going to roll it up one strike price to 100. I'm going to pick up about 35 cents per share credit doing that. So I'm going to go from the 99, I'm going to buy to close the 99 strike short call, sell to open the June 13th 100 strike short call. I'm going to get between 35 and 37 cents a share in the process of doing that. And the second I did it, it filled. The 96 strike short put, I'm not worried at all about that one not finishing, well out of the money. I'm going to roll that one straight out. I'm going to leave it at 96. I'm not going to raise that. I'm going to leave it at 96. I'm going to roll it out from June 6th to June 13th. I'm going to pick up another 37 or 38 cents a share doing that. So I have just successfully rolled both of those options out. So both of those options now, the 99 strike call is now a 100 strike short call rolled out to June 13th. The 96 short put remains at the 96 strike rolled out to June 13th. Combined, I picked up about 70, I'm going to say probably 75 cents or more credit on doing that. So that is done. I don't have to worry about Walmart for today. Everything else on the spread trade side of things is looking good. On the collar trade side, I said yesterday, I mentioned more about the collar trade. We don't have any long puts that are expiring today. So I'm going to sit on my hands and not do anything with any of our collar trades for today. All of our collar trades are probably going to get looked at. I've got to recant one thing. We've got short puts that are going to expire on SoFi today. They're well out of the money. Just allow those to expire. That's basically going to go to zero at the end of the day. So I'm not worried about that one. I don't know why this page isn't refreshing the way it should. So I've got some kind of error on my little what if there. Interesting. I'll fix that really quickly. There we go. All right. So there's where we're at with SoFi right now. And those short puts will expire on SoFi, so I'm not worried about those. Nothing else is expiring on collar trades. I'm going to leave them alone. Now, for those of you in triple play trades, we've already made an adjustment to Marvell. I sent out on Discord an adjustment to Dell. And I'm not going to mess around with Dell in the sense that I'm not going to try and extend this out and squeeze more out of it. What I did with Dell this morning, in case you didn't see it on Discord, I rolled this 110 strike short put up to a 114. That is a little bit in the money, but Dell is on a nice roll. I believe that will end up out of the money before the day is over today. I think Dell will get over 114. If it doesn't, you might have stock put to you at 114 and you'll have to immediately sell the stock at whatever it's selling. 113 if it dips back below that. I rolled the 120 strike short call down to 115. So on the put side of things, I've just got a dollar spread between the 113 and the 114. On the call side, I've got a $2 spread because I don't think Dell is going to get enough of a surge to go up to and above 115. This will dramatically mitigate the loss on Dell, especially if we finish between 114 and 115, which I think is what's going to happen today. I think we're going to end up on Dell between 114 and 115. I think it's going to eke over 114 and stay there. That's going to be the final adjustment on Dell. I did not get into it myself, but I know some members got into Lululemon. You should be in phenomenal shape today because they are dropping like a rock, and they are dropping well below the strike price of the short put, and that should make Lulu an easy winner at the strike prices that we send out. I know at least one person, I think more than one, that follow the triple play trades did successfully get into the Lululemon trade. And so if that's the case, you're loving life. Last but not least, our NVIDIA trade. You should be in really good shape on the NVIDIA trade because it's just basically, oh, I'm on the wrong one, the triple play. There's the NVIDIA trade on the triple play. NVIDIA on the triple play. Let me refresh this really quickly. I believe this one is nicely profitable because NVIDIA is trading nicely up above 140. In fact, it's trading at 142 and some change right now. Just on the call side of the trade alone, I'm over $4.90 at the mid price right now. I'm being a little bit greedy, and I raised my mid price up to $4.95. You should be able to get a pretty easy exit on that one. I mean, this should end up right around here today when all is said and done. So you should get your 25% profit very easily on NVIDIA today. And that's pretty much going to take care of things for today. So we are, we're going to take a loss on Marvell because we adjusted it to where we were pretty much guaranteed a loss. We're going to take a loss on Dell, both much smaller losses than we might have taken otherwise. For those of you that got into Lululemon, you're going to be looking good. And we're still going to be at almost 90% on the year-to-date numbers. We're over 144% on the SOS spread trades year-to-date numbers. And like I said, everything we have open. Oh, a nice big move up today on Amazon, by the way. I almost forgot to mention Amazon. We will roll our short call on Amazon probably for over the weekend for Monday morning's open. I haven't really looked close at that one yet. So with all of that, I'm going to wrap up. I hope you have a great rest of your day Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. If you are not a member of Safe Option Strategies and you want to get into these trades when we send them out so that you can follow them along, just go to sostrades.com. That's the easiest thing to do. Our company is Safe Option Strategies, but SOS Trades, we gobbled up that URL because it's just shorter, a little bit easier to type in. It's not easy to write in with a mouse, but sostrades.com. Go there, check out the different packages we have. Email, ask us any questions that you have. We'd love to have you as a member of one of our programs. But as you can see, the members of our program are doing phenomenal if they're just following every single trade that we send out. The three major indexes are up between 1% and 3% on the year, halfway through the year, and we're approaching 150%. You want to be a part of this, I promise you. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here Monday at the close of the month.